Guys, it's Justin, aka Dream Chaser, coming to you with another episode to Power Up Motivation. This is talking about my Disney journey, which is really my testimony. It is about 6 a.m. in the morning. The Lord woke me up this morning around 4 a.m. and just told me that it's finally time for me to make this video. And so it's really talking about my journey towards, getting my professional internship at Disney, and talks about some of my experience at Disney the first time, because this will be my second internship with them. This video is more impromptu than any of my other videos, and so, just try to follow along. I have my book here with some notes, and so I'll see what I can do with that. But really, it's just my testimony, and it's kind of like a Job story, like the Job story in the Bible. And it's, I just pray that it blesses you and gives you the motivation to keep moving forward. And so, pretty much to get into it, my Disney journey began last semester, last spring, 17 semester, and everything like that. And I really only applied to Disney because I really wanted to escape. I got out of a bad relationship about a year and a half ago, going on 2 years, and I really just wanted a new beginning, and I wanted to get away. I was not living the life that I wanted to live. I was not being the person I wanted to be, and I just really wanted a new, fresh start, And so Disney was in the back of my mind from being able to go there some years before, and so I applied to the Disney College Program. Had an 8% chance of getting accepted into that. Got accepted into that, God be the glory. Then I had a 5% chance of getting accepted into the Engineering Professional Development Seminar. And so I got accepted into that. One of the only 2 black men in that class. There's not really a lot of people of color that works at Disney. And so I got accepted into that, was top of my class, got to do things that people never ever get to see that's been there full time. Got to network with 13 different engineers while I was there within a 6-week kind of period. When I say that I was able to re-image myself and able to refurbish myself, able to really grow into who I felt I needed to be, I was able to do that in Florida. And so, I was working 52 hours a week, not complaining. 52 hours in 7 days, that's a lot of time, working in outdoor vending, and I was just really, but I never complained. I was really happy to be where I was at. I met 3 amazing women, Imani, Charmaine, Katora, aka Tori, and everything like that. And they really changed my life, and they were really true friends, and they will always be my friends and my confidants until the end of my day. I had my own personal Alfred, that's like Batman's assistant. And, I hate to call her that because she doesn't work for me or anything like that, but she has honestly been such a strong motivation, has honestly believed in my dream, and just really have just poured into me and sparked my light for me to go out there and meet those 13 different engineers. And her name is Carmen, and I thank you so much for this. And so while I was in Florida, I really had a chance to just really, grow and be somewhere that I love to be, doing something I love to do, and, doing engineering on the side. And, I knew that would get my foot in the door to continue to live my dream, having my best friends there, being able to do that. I met a girl that I really cared about and everything like that, and it taught me how to have like a pure love and a pure care for a woman, and not need to do all that extra stuff, but you can just truly just be in somebody's presence and just be happy to be in somebody's presence. No kind of stipulations or you have to come over and do this. It's just like, I just enjoy being around you, and so I had such a happiness that I couldn't explain, and I was just thank God for everything each and every day, but during that time I didn't have the humility. And so one day I was having a bad day and everything like that. And when I'm having a bad day, I try not to talk because words are powerful. Words are powerful. And so by me trying not to talk, I was getting trained by a woman that wasn't supposed to be training me for a new position on my job. I was having a bad day. She kept trying to make small talk, and she was allegedly down with the brothers and everything like that. And I thank God for her. I'm not bashing her or nothing like that, but I was having a bad day, and she kept trying to ask me how my day was, and I don't even remember talking that day at all, but she kept trying to ask me how my day was, and I said, I'm not really effing with today. And I said it on stage, I really don't cuss when I'm at work like that, but I was having a bad day, and so I just said, I really don't F with today. There's nobody around, no guests around, just, co-workers. She goes back and tells management, and then in 15 hours, I get unexpectedly released from my internship. And so I went from being on a super high, you know, constantly working, constantly growing, constantly being the best me I could be, and being somewhere that I love to be, doing something I love to do, to an extreme low. Um, the way that my internship worked is that within 15 hours, I was released from my internship, and then by 11 a.m. the next day, I had to be out of the living there and be back and just leave. And so, you know, I begged and pleaded with management, like, hey guys, like, you know, I'm sorry, like, all this could have been handled with the conversation. You know, why is this happening to me? You know, you guys, everybody loves me here. You know, once I got released, I had people crying over me. People, like a girl named Rebecca, man, she's my heart. She's so sweet. She's she's Chinese, but she's from California, and she saw me and just started crying when she saw me moving out my apartment, because she's like, Justin, you just made me want to work harder just by working just the way you worked. You know, and I never really felt that I had that impact on people, because I just lived my life just the way I live my life, you know, being the best me I could be each and every day. And so she just started crying. I had other people mad about the situation, and people, you know, crying over me. And so it just made me feel good that I was impacting people's lives. But that was the beginning of my storm. Because I was like, Lord, like, I don't know how I'm going to get back to Texas. You know, it took 2 days to drive there. I don't know how I'm supposed to be out my living by 11 a.m. the next day. I don't know how to do that. I don't understand why you're taking such a joy away from me. Because my plan, and this is going to be crucial, but my plan was to work 2/3 of the year doing a DCP, and then the last third of the year doing my engineering professional development, my engineering professional internship. Because while I was there, I was applying for professional internships, which allowed me to do nothing but my major's work. And so that was my plan. And so, you know, this really erased my plan. I had to return home, and I went through the biggest depression I've ever experienced in my 22 years of life. Once my storm began, I didn't have a job anymore. I was financially unstable. I didn't have enough money for any and everything, and I'm not used to ever not having enough money. I had to move back in with my parents' house, and thank God for parents, you know, a mother and a father that love me. But, you know, after being on your own for 3 to 4 years, doing your own thing, you know, not really asking for nothing, you know, that's a big change. The girl that I really liked in Florida, that was my best friend, you know, and then, you know, she found somebody else and got with somebody else, so that kind of, you know, made me feel some type of way. We're still great friends, because we had a friendship first. Make a friendship first, guys. And so, but I'm happy for her. She's doing her thing. I got into 2 car accidents back to back, and I ain't never been in car accidents before. And it's just, you know, just so much stuff, so much. And then I had to deal with all the demons that I left behind when I left to try to escape this life and you know, just become something new and become a new person. And so, you know, I'm just going through such a depression. And I'm asking God, like, why me? You know, I'm talking to my 3 confidants, you know, from Florida, just talking to Imani Shemaine and Tori, and just like, hey, guys, like, I don't understand why this is happening to me. You know, they're the only ones that really know about my struggle. You know, they're the only ones that I talked to about this while I was going through. And because I made it through, amen. But, you know, and I see why, and I'm going to get there. But, you know, they're the only ones that really know about, you know, how much sadness and how much depression I felt through. You know, they the ones that really understand, you know, how hurt I was by what was happening to me in my life, because I worked so hard. And see, that's the key. Because in everything I did, and that's going to be the testimony, but in everything that I did while I was there originally, I was talking about me, myself, and I. Because I worked. I did the applications. I met 13 different engineers. I was doing this. I was doing that. I wasn't doing this to brag and show people. No, but when I want something in life, I work for it. That's what my father taught me, and that's what I constantly do. I work for what you want, with the unending drive and an unstoppable motivation. Like I worked for it. And so I was just so depressed and so sad. And I just kept asking God, like, why? Why would you give me everything I could ever wanted? Why would you give me my best friend that was a girl that I also, you know, enjoyed being in her company, and I could see something growing and flourish? Why would you allow me to be able to see my dream, something that I could see that I knew I was going to have, but now I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to have it? Why would you allow me to re-image myself and get to know and know myself better and get to heal myself from my past hurts and my past pains and escape my demons? Why would you allow me to get to such an happiness and experience such a joy and then bring me back to a place to where I no longer want to belong to? Like why would you do that? And I questioned the mess out of God. I questioned him so seriously, so hard. But I never rebuked his name. I never ever denied God. I questioned him and I was upset, but I never ever rebuked his name. I never ever cursed God. And so I was so depressed, so sad. And I was raised in the church, and I knew that I need to get with other Christians. So when I say I was here in Texas and I didn't tell nobody I was back home, like I was isolated. I knew that right now I need to be by myself. I needed to be in my own personal war room, learn my own personal stuff. I needed to be just by myself. Because anything that I touched while I was toxic would only just destroyed everything else. And so I started reaching out to friends that knew the Lord more than me. And I started reaching out to friends that knew where to go in the Bible to find this and all that. What I'm saying? I was raised in church, but I didn't know it like that. You know what I mean? And so I just started searching because I felt so empty. Because everything I tried to do to make money, everything that I tried to do to get this job, everything that I tried to do this just was failing. And so all my failure nothing worked. And so I looked to the one thing that, your grandmothers always talk about. I looked to the one thing that your family always talks about. I started going to church more. I started going to Wednesday school and everything like that. I just looked towards the one thing because everything I was doing was failing. So I looked towards the one thing that I've heard would always work. And so I started reaching out to my friends that knew God more. And so I reached out to one of my friends from PV. I won't say her name, but she has been a tremendous help in my life. And so she told me that my story sounded a lot like Job's story in the Bible. And so, if you go to the Bible, if you attend church every now and then, you don't have to go every day or every Sunday. Like if you attend church at least more than Easter and Christmas, you should have probably heard the story by now. And so Job's story, long story short, 43 chapters in the book, in the Bible. And so he had everything, he had kind of, I guess, maybe a similar kind of raising like me. He was blessed. I'm blessed. I'm privileged. And I never allowed my privilege to handicap me, but I always recognized that I was privileged. 2-parent household. I always had everything I needed, not everything I wanted, but I never had to worry about nothing. And so, Job was blessed with so many riches, stuff like this. The devil shows up to a meeting with God, and the angels don't recognize the devil, but of course God recognizes the devil, and God pretty much tells the devil that he can go and, just mess with Job. Just don't harm Job in the beginning. Later, God allowed, Job to be harmed physically, with boils coming on his skin and stuff like that. And so, but she told me my story really sounded a lot like Job. And so, during my depression, one thing that I never stopped doing, I never stopped working towards my dream. My depression really hit me hard at night. But during the day, I was still working. I was still emailing the engineers that I had planned to meet with before I unexpectedly had to leave. I was still making phone call meets and greets, which is pretty much like having lunch, but over the phone. I don't know how to explain it. It's better than that. And so, I was still working, And so while I was still working, I was still reading the Bible and reading the book of Job. And it just preached to me so much. Because I needed to make sure that I poured in myself enough before nighttime hit. Because once nighttime hit, that's when all the demons were unleashed, and that's when I was really attacked. So I need to make sure that I put up my guard and put enough armor on my body before demons just started attacking me at night and started messing with my mind. And so, I read the book of Job and everything like that, and it blessed me so much, and it just gave me more questions to like, why, God, are you having me going through this? Why is this happening to, good people? I wasn't there in Florida just trying to do this, doing that. I was there trying to be a better person. And so I got so, I was still working through this pressure, reading the book of Job, still working, I finally found a job now, making some more money as a waiter. And so, once I started reading the book of Job, the Lord had me start facing my demons one-on-one. The demons that I had tried to leave in Texas when I went to Florida, I had to start facing them one-on-one. and start, dealing with this one. All right, cool, got closure from that, cool, we good. Dealing with this one, cool, got closure from that, cool, we good. All right, dealing with this one, cool, I got to close this book in my chapter, we're good. All right, cool, another thing, got to close that chapter of my life, cool, we good. You know what I mean? And so, I was reading it, and God's starting to work things out, and I'm starting to see God's glory, and, I'm starting to come out of my depression. And it hit me really hard one day. I started, when I was depressed, I started drinking a little bit more. I'm not ashamed to say that, that's not the way to go. But I started drinking some more, just trying to, allow myself to feel the emotions that I need to get out my system. And so one night I was just having a really night. I was just ready just to quit, ready to give it all up, ready to just be done. I called my 3 friends, my 3 best friends, and I was like, hey guys, like I just can't take it no more. And I was just ready to be done. I didn't see the future. I didn't see everything I had worked for. I couldn't see anything. I got to my lowest point. And I'm probably about midway to 3/4 of the way done with reading the book of Job by now. And so I'm just like, guys, I just can't do this no more. And so that's the night when God revealed himself to me, and he gave me my fire back. That's the night God came to me and gave me something intangible that I cannot ever give away or can never lose, because when it's intangible, it can't be touched, it can't be felt, like it can't be taken away unless I give it away by choice. But God came to me and he talked to me personally, and I thank him so much for it. And he said, Justin, you haven't touched the life that I've called for you to touch yet. You haven't impacted the person that I need you to impact. You haven't spoken to the person that I needed you to talk to yet. You haven't done everything that I've called for you to do yet. You can't quit on me because I'm the one that made you. And so while I still have you here, because it's not your time to go, I need you to work for me. And so God called me, and it turned my life around. It made my relationship with him so much more intimate. It made my relationship with him so much more personal. And I said, you know what, Lord, bet. All right, if this is what you telling me to do, all right, God, you know what I'm saying, I'm here for you. I'm riding. Lord, I can't see what's going on, kind of like with my eyes closed right now, I can't see what's going on. Lord, I want to close my eyes because everything I see is not good right now. So I'm just going to walk by faith, and I'm just going to let you carry me, because I can't even walk right now, and I just need you to get me to where I need to be. And so, I just, when that happened, that's when Clothing the Homeless was born. That was me accepting God's will for my life. That was me personally showing God that even though I'm somewhere that I don't want to be, like, I will still do my best to serve you. And so how can I serve you? By serving others. And so Clothing the Homeless 1.0, that's what I call it, because there's 2 now, was born. And so once I started doing that, I started seeing everything in my life changing. Like, everything in my life just started turning around. Like everything in my life that had me so depressed, I got rid of that depression. I never felt those feelings of anxiety no more. I never felt those feelings of, depression or suicide or anything like that, wanting to give up on life no more. I never felt that no more after that conversation with God. And after I began working for him, everything in my life started turning around. I started meeting friends that had the same kind of focus as me. I started, having people from Disney call me and wanting to talk to me and say, hey, I heard your name from so-and-so. Like, can I schedule this from blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that? Like calling me. Disney doesn't have a number, guys. So if you see a private number calling on your phone and it's like 407 or something, like that's Disney. and so I remember one day, and I just started, man, this really made my relationship with God so much more powerful, and just showed me that the book of Job was a real book, and just gave me more faith in what the Bible has to say. It gave way more weight to me, because my mama was talking to my grandmother one day, wasn't even talking to me, but God blessed me. My mother said, nobody that has never been through anything can try to help somebody else. Meaning that if you don't suffer through things yourself, how can you say that God can make a way for you and not make a way for me? Like if you haven't experienced that yourself, how do you expect to help somebody else? You're just a hypocrite. You think that that's what it's going to be, but you haven't gone through nothing. And so, at one day, I can't remember the day no more, but at 10:12 a.m., I got this phone call from a private number, and I answered the phone, man. I just don't start crying on the phone because God is so good, man. But I answered the phone, and they said, "Hey, is this Justin?" I'm like, "Yeah, who's this?" Trying to like still sleepy, still in the bed and everything like that. It's like, "Hi, I'm so and so from Disney," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And they was like, "Oh, I'm doing well." They was like, "Hey, I got two questions for you." They said, "How do you intend to get into work?" And I said, "I'm driving my car from Texas, 16-hour drive, so I'll be driving my car to work each and every day." She was like, "Okay, cool." She said, "If we keep you for a full year, are you fine with that, or do you need to return, back home to school to finish? Like, what is your game plan?" I said, "Madam, I intend on being in Florida as long as I can because my school recognizes that this is a co-op, and whenever I return back home, my school is going to let me pick up on my classes like I never left." She was like, "Cool, let me offer you a job." And man, like, shit. And man, just like on the phone, I just started crying, man. Like, I just tears started coming from my eyes, and I just kept saying, "Thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus." And the woman's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Ma'am, you just don't know. You just don't know how much I went through to get here." I said, "Ma'am, you just don't know how hard, how much God had to test me through to give me this blessing." And I just started crying on the phone, just kept saying, "Thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus, thank you, Jesus." And she just started, she just like, "Oh my gosh, real sweet," and stuff like that. And she said, "Justin, that's not where it ends." And she said, you have different benefits now." And I was like, what kind of benefits do I have? And she said, "Justin, when you get here, you already have 9 complimentary tickets with 1 additional complimentary ticket for you as soon as you arrive. You don't have to work to earn them. We're paying you to relocate here. A job that fired me is now paying me to move back to Florida, and then is allowing me to keep the additional change because it won't cost me all the money that they're giving me to move back there. They're allowing me to keep that. They're moving they're moving me back." And then they're like, "Hey, I see the amount that you requested because when I applied for the application to be in the engineering PI, that's in short for professional internship, they say, how much do you feel like you should get paid?" And I'm one of those people to where it's like, shoot, like, I shoot for the sky. I was like, man, my worth is way more than this, and that. Like, I put that in there. I was like, shoot, like, how much do I think I should get? How much would I want to get paid? I put a number in there thinking that they wouldn't give it to me. She's like, "Hey, we granted your full amount of the payment that you requested." And I'm like, for real? Like, I didn't put no small number. I'm just 22. Like, I didn't put no small number in there. And she's like, "I know, but, we're giving it to you." And so I just started praising God. Then on top of that, I just started thinking about how I can bring the people that I love to experience the kind of joy I felt in Florida. And I can do it as soon as I get there. I don't have to try to earn nothing anymore. It's everything's been given to me. And then on top of that, I'm not living underneath Disney housing. Learn from the first time. But I was like, "Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna find an apartment, but you blessed me with the internships. I know you're gonna bless me with an apartment situation." I put one ad on Facebook, and I find this guy that will be my roommate that had done all the apartment searching, that had all the people. We found the roommates together, and God blessed my rent to be cheaper in Florida than the rent I paid at my apartment when I lived at UTA. That's amazing. And then on top of that, my friends since then, are gone except for Tori. She's friends with Princess Tiana, and she works at Disney full time and stuff like that. And so I'm not going to have the same amount of friends that I had when I was there, but I'm not worried about that, man, because my friendship that I established with Imani, Couture, Charmaine, and Carmen is real. So it doesn't matter where I go. As soon as I called them and told them I got the internship, they just started screaming. I called them while I was at work at Razoo's, and they just started screaming, cheering, and being happy for you. And guys, that's when you have a confidant. A confidant is somebody that's for you when you're up, and they're for you when you're down. They don't care about your success or their failure. They're invested in you. And so it felt so good to have true friends to where I could share my passion with. And guys, I started seeing the people around me being blessed. One of my best friends, that's probably going to be the best man at my wedding, he got an engineering internship, and still gonna be able to go to school. Then another one of my friends, he got a job with Dr. Pepper, Fortune 500, Fortune 100 company. Then my family, my parents got blessed to be able to buy a new house. And then it's just, I'm seeing my friend graduated from college. And man, when I say my friends graduate from college, I be more hype than they family be. Like, I'm extra already. Imagine it when you succeed and I'm your friend, bro. I do the most. And then one of my other friends, she's an amazing singer, and she's finally like going out and making her YouTube channel and singing on her YouTube channel. I'm so blessed and happy for her. Then my other friend, she's going to school, working full time, doing what she got to do to be successful. And it's just like, I'm seeing the people. Then I have a friend now, he's trying to do modeling. I'm so proud and blessed for him. Now I got two friends now finding their jobs and their careers and their place in the world. Like I'm just so thankful, because while they were succeeding around me, I didn't have my blessing. But I didn't have any envy or any jealousy or anything like that towards them. When people succeed around you, you can do one of two things. You can feel jealous, or you can start praising God. And I chose to start praising God, because if you look at it this way, imagine you're in a neighborhood or a cul-de-sac or whatever you want to call it. The mailman starts coming and delivering mail to everybody else in your proximity, in your approximate area. And that means that eventually he's gonna get to your doorstep. So when you see people around you start getting blessed, when you see people around you start getting stuff that they worked so hard for, when you see people around you start having blessings, and you like, where's mine at? Just start praising God, because that means that yours is on the way. Because he's blessing people in your proximity, he's blessing people in your area. That means eventually he's gonna get to you. And I got my blessing, guys. I got my testimony. I have such a joy and a love in my heart for God now, because if it wasn't for me going through my Job season, if it wasn't for me going through that, I wouldn't be able to handle the trials and tribulations in my future. And I wouldn't be able to say my love for God is as much as it is. Since I've been able to go through everything I've been with, I know how to have pure and true friendships with women. I know how to stay focused on God no matter what, and to not worry about what happens today or happens tomorrow, because God's glory and God's beauty is in everything. And as long as you do your part, the Lord will do his part. And as long as you stay focused on him while you're doing your part, and avoid the instant gratification for the delayed gratification and the delayed success that the Lord will give you, it'll be all worth it. All my sadness, all my depression, all my thoughts, all my desires to quit and everything like that, all that stuff that I felt, all of the demons that I had to deal with, me returning back to a place to where I no longer felt I belonged, everything like that, it was totally worth it. And I feel no kind of anger and animosity towards the girl that, I don't blame her for nothing. I was the one that said it, take full responsibility for your own actions. I don't blame her. I praise God for her. I praise God for my leaders that released me. I thank God, for me being able to have a friend that I cared about that got another relationship for that, because it taught me how, like, you can still stay her friend. Like, it's okay. Like, so much stuff, like, happened to me in one time. I thank God. And, God is funny. The Lord is funny. And it's about time for me to end this video, but the Lord is funny. So when I got into my second accident, I got into 2 accidents within 1 month, within a 30-day period. Never been an accident. 2 accidents within a 30-day period. In my second accident, it was towards the end of my storm. And my second accident, I got hit by this woman, And I live in Texas. Once I say this, and bro, think about where I live at, this is nothing but God. There's no such thing as a coincidence. And so I got hit by her. And she pulls up in front of my car, she cussing at me and stuff like that. She don't look like me. She thinking I'm doing all this and doing all that. I just left church, calling me stuff out my name. And, I didn't say nothing to her. I just called the police. And I said, hey, can you guys come here, because I don't want this to look bad. We did get into an accident. This woman is being belligerent towards me. I'm not saying anything towards her, but I know in society, I would look like the person doing something wrong. Like, I need y'all to get here. And so after she pulls up in front of me, I look on the back windshield, and it had Mickey and Minnie Mouse. And before I got my internship, I was praying like, God, please let me just stay in your will. God, let me stay in your will. That was my constant prayer while I was making it through my storm. God, let me stay in your will, because if I'm in your will, I know that I can have a perfect peace. Can have a perfect peace, and I can keep moving forward and doing what I need to do. Lord God, let me stay in your will. God, before I got into my second accident, I asked God to give me a sign that he would send me back to Florida. I got hit by a person. Like, the Lord literally hit me with my blessing. Like literally. Like, damaged my passenger door. Like, bruh. And so, he hit me. The woman hit me. She pulled up, had Mickey and Minnie on the back of her windshield. And the reason why that's relevant for me living in Texas, because people don't have that. We got Six Flags in Texas. We don't have Disneyland or Disney World. We don't have none of that. You see that all the time in Florida. I saw that all the time in Orlando and Lake Buena Vista. Like, I see that all the time. You don't see that in Texas. We drive fast. Like I'm always passing somebody. I see the rearview mirrors all the time. You don't have no Mickey or Minnie Mouse. And so after I got hit by the woman, and I was on the phone with the cops, and I saw, the picture of her, of the Mickey and Minnie Mouse, I just started praising Jesus. In the midst of my storm, I just started praising the Lord. I just started saying, thank you, Jesus. Like, you playing right now. This really about to hit my bank account, but, like, Lord, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, like, you could have did something different. You know what I'm saying? The same you tell me you would send me back to Florida, but, you good. You know what I'm saying? You funny, but, we straight. And so, but man, guys, I'm really starting to talk and just ramble now, but I just want to say, man, that's my Disney journey. And I don't know who watched this to the end. I don't know, who message this was for. I don't know if this was a blessing to you or not. It's just about 6:30 a.m. in the morning right now. But that's my Disney journey. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Because the love that I have for my God now is so much greater. When I say thank you, Lord, or when I see old people say thank you, Lord, and say, but God, when I hear that and when I say that myself now, it has such a meaning to it now. I used to hear it all the time. I'm like, well, God is cool, he's great, awesome, thank you. But now it has such an intimate meaning to me. It has such a deep impact in my life. The true friendships and the friendships that I saw that were really friends with me, and the people that I saw that was really riding with me, and the people that I saw that wasn't really riding with me, the confidence that I've been able to establish out of everything that I've experienced was totally worth it. And then get this, I forgot to tell y'all about this benefit. So with me getting released from my job, because at Disney, you can only work for a full year before they kick you out and make you go back to school. And so with me getting released, I can go work and have the benefits that I've already explained. And I can do this for a full year versus only doing it for 1/3 of a year. So in my plan, I had me doing engineering for 1/3 of a year. But in God's plan, he had me doing what he has entitled for me to do for a full year, getting paid at the price that I asked for. And it has the job location that released me, moving me back. Like, man, God is amazing. And I wouldn't trade any and everything. I wouldn't trade the thoughts and the sadness and the depression and the heartbreak and the confusion and the questions. I wouldn't trade that for the world. Because the time that I spend with God and the time I spend thinking about, the spirit of my wife and my future family, the time I thinking about the intangible things that keep me pushing and keep me motivated, the time that I spend thinking about the stuff that I used not to think about, the time that I spend with the Lord now that I used not to spend with him, the time and the drive and the focus that I have now, I can't be beaten. Like I already come from privilege. Like I already have a great starting point. It would be a shame for me to start here and to end here. No, like I've had so many people invest in me. I've had so many people pour into me. I had so many people be on my team. There's no reason for me to fail now, and I wouldn't trade none of what I've gone through for what I feel now. And so I just really want to give a humongous, because black people, I always gotta give shout outs, but I really want to just thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for all the unnamed soldiers that have helped me make it through my trials and tribulation. I want to thank you for my parents, because I have a phenomenal mother and a phenomenal father. While I was going through my trials and tribulations, my father never got mad with me. I talked to my dad, And guys, having a dad is such an amazing thing. I talked to my dad, you know, as a young man, and he told me, like, son, like, it's okay. You know, he said, son, it's okay. And he told me what he's going through. And it's just, you know, so much power in having a father. You know, mothers get all the attention and all the praise. But guys, there's a magic to having a father in your life for a young man that you can't take for granted. And I never took it for granted a day in my life. And so I thank him. You know, there's a speech on YouTube that I listen by TD Jakes. It's called the Unspoken Truth of Men. It's like about 14 minutes long. And that was what I was living through. And I had a father figure to help me make it through that. I thank you, Charmaine, for listening to, man, you talk to me more than anybody. like you saw the raw, the horrible, the now you saw everything. And I thank you, Imani, for being my best friend. I thank you for, you know, just being there to talk to too. I thank you, Katora, for being, you know, that strong motherly figure that gave you the tough love to keep going. And I thank you, Carmen, for lighting my fire. For getting me started on this path. I thank you for helping me with everything that it comes with Disney. You four women have changed my life tremendously. And guys, like, bruh, like, if you a man, find you a good woman, cause women are incubators. You tell a woman she don't have to be a woman like that. Like, find a good woman. Like, women are incubators, fam. Like, you tell them a dream, you tell them a passion, you tell them something that you want to do as a man, and if you truly tell it to them, they see that you believe it, bro, they will take it in their spirit, they will incubate it, which is a multiply. They will multiply it and give it back to you. My friends never ever let me lose focus. My friends constantly reminded me of what I told them I was going to do. like they did not allow me to fail. And I can't thank the world enough for them. And so, you know, that concludes this episode to Power Up Motivation. Remember, man, we stay out here morphing minds, but that is my Disney journey. And I pray that it motivates you to chase after whatever kind of dream you have, no matter how much disappointment or depression or setbacks that you feel or that you have in your life, guys. You can make it happen. You just have to make up your mind that no matter what you go through, that you're going to see through that. I am unstoppable. Hey, Charmaine, thanks for getting it for me. but I am unstoppable. No matter what I face in life, it won't stop me, because I know what I've been through. And if I've been through that, I can make it through whatever. But you guys, like, comment, and subscribe. You best believe there will be videos coming from me living out my dream in Florida. I leave in approximately probably 42 hours now. Like a brother will be hitting the road. Safe travels, Lord willing. But I'll see y'all around. God bless.